This is Shamini Jan with the Consciousness and Healing Initiative, www.chi.is, and I have the great pleasure of sitting with some of the most amazing scientists at the Institute of Noetic Sciences, Helane Wabe and Arnaud Delorme, and they are doing cutting-edge research in mediumship and channeling, and I wanted them to have the opportunity to share that stuff with you, because it's just amazing work. Thank you both for agreeing to do this. I really appreciate it. IONS has been a pioneer of leading-edge research in consciousness for almost 50 years now, and it's really incredible what they've been doing. So these two young, amazing scientists have been doing work in channeling, most recently, and mediumship. And I guess my first question for both of you is, what do you mean by channeling? What do you mean by mediumship? What does that mean, and what is the difference between them?
Sure. So the broadest term, channeling, refers to being able to access information and energy from beyond time and space. So essentially getting information and energy from beyond our traditional five senses. And so under that umbrella, you have lots of different terms, like full trance channeling, which would mean that the channeler believes that they move out of the way for a purported disincarnate being to come into their body and use their body to communicate.
Wow.
Most people refer to mediumship when they are receiving information and energy mentally, so it's coming in through their mind, and they aren't necessarily using their body in any way, and Arnaud can speak to that a little bit more, but it usually is referring to communicating with who they believe are deceased humans.
Okay, so mediumship encompasses a lot of different things, but essentially it's different from channeling in the way that you've described it, because in channeling you sort of have a full embodied experience of a being coming through your body. Is that right?
Trance channeling.
In trance channeling.
Yeah, but you could call mediumship a type of channeling.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Arnaud, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think it's a good description that you have the people who can channel, so that just the voice of the purported spirit goes through their mouth, and then you have people who claim to have the information coming to their mind and they just repeat it, so it's more passive mediumship. We call it mental mediumship versus channeling.
Mental mediumship. And so as I understand it, both of you have been doing research in trance channeling and in mediumship. Before we get into that, though, just a basic question that I think a lot of people who are not real familiar with this would ask, which is, why would someone do this? So why would you want to, as a trance channeler, have someone come into your body and do this? And how common is this anyway?
So we just finished a study actually looking at how common channeling is, and there's such a wide variation of channeling, from simple intuition that almost all of us have experienced on some level, to the other extreme, which is trance channeling. So trance channeling itself is not that common. It is pretty rare to step aside and have a purported being come work through your body, but intuition happens to most people almost every day. So we did a study looking at 25 different channeling experiences and found that the percentages of the general population, scientists and engineers, and people who are interested in this stuff was quite high, almost in the 90s.
Wow.
I know.
In the 90s, 90%? You mean
yes, 90% of those people. Yes.
Some kind of an experience with what you call channeling, which isn't necessarily just trance channeling, but getting information, getting what we call intuition.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes. And so when you take out the most common ones, like perhaps feeling somebody else's emotion or getting a gut hunch about something, about what the next step should be, that number stayed at about 80% of those three groups had had at least one of those channeling experiences.
So this is actually a study that you did that's going to be published, right?
It'll be published, yes, in the next couple months. Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, we'll look forward to sharing that. That's amazing. And you've been engaging in some other research with trance channels as well, right?
So we just completed a in-laboratory study with trance channels where we hooked them up to electrodes that measured their brain, their heart, their skin, a variety of different physiological measures, and to see how those changed from when they were channeling to when they were not channeling, and seeing the differences between those. So we can perhaps get a little bit about how channeling works.
Wow, amazing. So you're really getting a sense of what's happening physiologically with a trance channeler when they're actually in the channeling process versus when I think your control condition is like reading, right? Reading out
they're
loud
just sitting there
and
silently.
sitting silently. Great.
And back to your question about why someone would want to do this, like especially with the trance channeling, most of them experience it as a pleasurable experience. So they have some immediate positive benefit from it just in their body. They're more relaxed, they feel at peace, they feel calm. And the perception is that they really are receiving information that supports them in their personal life, supports humanity, and gives perhaps a sense of comfort and information about where they're going and what their next steps should be. The impact of channeling through the survey that we did was also very, very positive, that most channeling experiences, people have a positive impact from it.
So they feel like it's really a beneficial thing, and would you call it, some people think of channeling as an aspect of spiritual development. And what I hear you saying is kind of there is a sense of peace and a sense of well-being and a deeper sense of knowing that can come with these experiences.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and we really look forward to hearing more about the research, the laboratory research as well. And Arno, I know that you have been doing a lot of research in what's called mental mediumship, right? For several years now, funded research at the Institute of Noetic Sciences. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I'm interested in the non-local consciousness. Is the consciousness in the brain or not? And so mental mediumship was like ideal application, because people claim to have information they're not supposed to have, so it's relatively easy to test. And so in the lab, what we do is we have a medium come and they see picture on the computer screen, and they have to give information about these pictures, and then we check whether the information is true or not, so we can check their accuracy on large number of pictures and do statistics.
So you basically have pictures that are being shown to people. Tell us a little bit more about that. How does that work?
The pictures we have is usually when you go see a medium, you bring a photograph of somebody. So that's what we show them. We show them photographs of faces, and we ask them information about these people. And usually they only have 2 or 3 buttons depending on the experiment. Where one question we were asking in the previous experiment is, are these people alive or not? Just very simple binary, yes or no, or I don't know.
Interesting.
And in the new one, we're asking them, how did these people pass? So information, was it cancer?
Wow, so that's pretty specific information that you're asking
yes,
there. Yeah.
and because we're showing so many pictures, we can get high statistical power. So if we find something, we can be pretty sure this is accurate and this is not due to chance.
And is any of your work also published at this point?
Yes, we've published the paper on the face, which are alive or not.
Great.
And we're working on the new experiments on the cause of death.
That's amazing. Yeah, thank you both for your work. As you know, this is not common research in the universities, although both of these individuals, come from university settings and have their university affiliations, but it's really organizations like the Institute of Noetic Sciences that allow scientists the freedom to explore these deeper questions around consciousness. Where can people go to learn more about you and your work?
www.noetic.org, noetic.org.
Okay, great. Well, thank you both so much for doing this, and good luck with your research.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.